welcome to Webquarters TV to my friend and my customer, Mr. Nisar of Rabie Food Company in Saudi Arabia.
Hi Alan, hi, how are you?
Nisar, it's lovely to have you with me. It's when we're surrounded by people, I always call you Mr. Nisar.
Mm-hmm.
Our audience must understand this. When it's just you and I, you insist I call you Nisar.
Yeah, I think let's stick with that. It's
Stick with Nisar today.
It's all right, that's fine.
This is a very important podcast for me personally, because Nisar and I have been working closely together for the past 18 months.
I think so.
And I'd like to talk about Mr. Nisar and his support of our endeavours with digital transformation in his company, Rabie. And I'd like to talk about the trials and tribulations of our journey, mm-hmm. and the positive foothold that we have today. So, Nisar, welcome to the IFS World Conference and welcome to Webquarters TV. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. You know, it's really a privilege, you know, to be in company with yourself, with your team, knowing all the people here, all the great things that are coming up for the future. So. It's been great so far. Really enjoying it. Thank you so much for inviting us here in the first place, and giving us that personal attention, all the hospitality extended by yourself. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nisar. So let us start with the journey. But before I do that, let us just talk. For those who don't know, let's just put into perspective who Rabie is. Rabie is the largest producer of juices.
Yes.
You corrected me yesterday. So I said software, but you said beverage.
Yes, a beverage company, because software is a generic term associated with people like Pepsi and Coke.
Sure.
The CSD industry.
Yeah.
We are not in the CSD industry. We're in the beverage industry.
Okay,
which is a broader term.
Yes.
Used for drinks and juices, and so we are market leaders in the fruit juices.
Could you just put that a little closer to you?
Okay.
Thank you, Nisar.
Yeah, we are the market leaders in the fruit juice categories.
Yes.
The beverage oral industry, we are in the market for about 40 years. For decades, it's a household name in Saudi Arabia. And
yes.
when you go to Saudi, you can't miss Rabie, from the shops or from the people. Everybody knows Rabie. So it's a really is a household name.
I was overwhelmed by some of the statistics. 1 million litres produced every single day.
Absolutely right.
Every single day. So in Saudi, your brand would be as well known as a sort of Del Monte in North America, or a fruit juice company in that category.
Put it this way, Rabie is as well known as Coke and Pepsi in Saudi. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, our journey started in 2017 when you as an organisation had decided enough was enough with your IFS journey. You were the first customer to select IFS and the largest customer to implement IFS in Saudi Arabia in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I think the straw that broke the camel's back, no pun intended, was 2016. You went to a version 8 upgrade. And that was supposed to be the silver bullet that solved all issues. 2017, I think you and the leadership team, a little bit before your involvement, decided enough was enough, and we're moving away from IFS to select SAP. Webquarters was engaged to help with that migration. We weren't happy by that news, and we asked Mr. Munther and the leadership team to first allow us to conduct a pulse assessment to understand the issues, the inefficiencies, and the challenges that you were facing. And after a 6-month period, we were very pleased that we'd resolved a lot of those, not all. So maybe you could just give us some feedback on that pulse and the improvement initiatives.
Yeah. Before pulse, Alan, if you allow me,
yes,
I would like to go a little bit back. As I said, Rabie is a household name in company and in the country, and it has done really well as a business.
Yes.
Okay, when I joined the company about a year and a half ago, I realized that although the company is a success, the company's systems really let us down.
Yes.
Okay, over the past so many years, especially since the last upgrade of website. Excuse me. Okay, and the systems and processes were in quite a shape.
Yes.
When I joined, and if you remember, when the Pulse document was discussed between yourself and myself, it did highlight all the issues that company was facing, but our partners or our systems did nothing about it.
Yes.
All right, and the company suffered as a result. The decision making was slow. The information provision was inadequate. Nowhere near where it should be.
In spite of the inefficiency, you still managed to kick out
absolutely
1 million litres a day.
Absolutely right. Not only we produce, we actually sell.
Yes, exactly.
And we continue to be the market leaders in our category that we compete in. So that was I feel like the systems for the processes were our Achilles heel.
Yes.
We could have done much better if we had a good, well implemented system with good support from our partners, which never really existed. For me, that was number one priority when I joined, and I realized that we have to fix our systems, especially the ERP. But not just ERP on its own. We had to look at it from a global perspective.
Sure.
Okay, there are things well beyond ERP that need to be fixed for us to stay market leaders and keep our competitive advantage. And the state of the system that I took over when I joined was not good enough for where I want to take the company forward.
Yes.
Okay, so I realized, and I think I mentioned to you before, we pretty much decided that we're going to leave the IFS ecosystem.
Yes.
We're going to go SAP, because I'm from SAP background myself.
You are.
A long time in UK and then Saudi as well. So for me, the decision was very straightforward. As CFO of the company, I could not live with the systems that we had, because they know if they're not really supporting our strategy, our business, our operations, nothing. Okay, despite the fact that we invested, serious money, serious management time and effort, and still it didn't work out. So that's a bit of background to where I came from. All right, and then when I saw the Pulse document, it was, to be honest with you, was a good quality assessment of where we stood at the time.
Yes.
And the suggestion that we should go ahead with a smaller level project, we called it quick wins.
Yes.
Was something that appealed to me personally. So I said, okay, we'll have a go. Okay, with Webquarters after our discussion with self. Because our users were really disheartened. They were really disappointed, disconnected. Mm-hmm. The most important thing, they were totally disconnected with our system.
On that point, sorry to interrupt, on that point, I think the observations that we made when conducting the Pulse is that business was blaming IT was blaming business. There was a disconnect that was being caused by what I would suggest was the root cause of the challenge was an arm's length implementation.
Indeed.
An arm's length design. It is a common challenge in the region that businesses that don't have a footprint, that are not based in Saudi, want to try and do projects part-time. 1 week on, 2 weeks off in Europe, 1 week on. I think that was some of the challenges, and the design, the implementation, the lack of training, the lack of support was the root cause of what we thought were the issues and what came from our discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, I think it was a half-cooked effort. Okay,
Yes.
the design was faulty, the implementation was half-hearted, the users' participation was non-existent,
Yes.
and the result was surprisingly a disaster.
Yes.
Okay, my opinion.
And we had the challenge of convincing the board. Before I went into Mr. Munther, who's CEO of Al Rabie Food Company of 39 years, nearly 40 years now, I was warned. Mr. Munther is not a big fan of consultants, especially consultants who are pushing innovation. So be brief, be to the point, and don't mess around was the sort of was the theme. I remember talking to Mr. Munther. He said, I'm always suspicious about consultants, especially selling software and services. They look at my watch and tell me the time. and I said, well, I'm not going to do that, Mr. Munther. And if you give us 5 or 6 months after this pulse, we will turn this around. And if we haven't, then let's consider the next day. Consider the next stages.
But I think Mr. Munther's viewpoint was not unfounded. It was not, based on something that didn't exist. It was based on the experience that he has personally endeavored, as part of the IFS journey back from 2001 all the way to 2016 for the Europe. So all that 20 years of experience, 15 years experience was behind how he felt.
Yes.
And I could not, I can fully understand why he felt how he felt. And he was not the only one, by the way. The whole company, the key users, especially finance and supply chain, as I said, they were totally disconnected. They were working on their own without the system support.
They were doing it inside and outside the system.
Absolutely.
They were using IFS, but using Excel as much as they were using IFS.
Absolutely.
We managed, thank goodness, to win the hearts and minds of those who are most opposed to IFS within the organisation.
Yes.
People believed that actually this might be something we could turn around, and we got to a point where we decided as a team, and we call this the Falcon team. We created an Apps 10 team, Project Falcon. We decided we were going for Apps 10, and could you just give us a little insight as to the journey we have been on together for the past 12 plus months with that endeavour, and then we'll talk about the outcome of that, if that's okay, Nisar.
Yeah, sure. The biggest challenge, Alan, for me personally, okay, and for Mr. Munther to a great extent, was to engage the users again.
Yes.
And to win their trust and involvement.
Yes.
And the journey. Because without that, no matter how good the product is, how good the intention, it would not have worked.
Correct.
Okay. So my number one challenge was to engage the people again, the key stakeholders especially. And the Quick Wins project especially was the key to that. Mm-hmm. Although it's a small project, we talk about 40 quick areas where we could, make improvements, make users' life easier, okay, build the trust, back again, make them happy.
Yes.
Make them happy, okay, about the system. So although it was like 3 to 4 months project, but it was absolutely key to where we wanted to take the company forward.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks to your team, full participation and effort, and hard work, and same goes for our team as well.
And I think it's fair to say, sorry to interrupt, I think it's fair to say that Mr. Darren Roos himself played a little bit of a influential supporting role in terms of writing to you, Mr. Munther, when he took his appointment to say, I recognise the issues and I'm going to support them. He then organised for Mr. Stephen Keyes to come over from Singapore to spend the day with us, and I think we all gave it to Stephen with both barrels in terms of the challenges we faced.
To be honest with you, and that meeting, Alan, was the turning point in the relationship, because before we could go ahead with anything to do with the Pulse suggestions or recommendation, we wanted to hear from IFS where they stand in this relationship. Okay, we want to hear firsthand. That's why we requested yourself, and thanks to you personally to arrange that meeting. Okay, moderated that meeting for us. Mr. Munther was there, myself was there. We wanted to hear, we want to know what is IFS viewpoint in our relationship going forward. Yes. And I have to be honest with you, the way Mr. Stephen Keyes approached the meeting was top class. I was impressed with his honesty.
Yes.
Okay. The way he approached our issues, that was really good.
Yes.
Okay, and I appreciated that. And I think from then on, it gave us some comfort.
100%.
That our partner is with us. Okay, they realized what happened in the past. Okay, there were issues on both sides. Okay, we had our complaint, maybe they have theirs. Okay, but we put it behind us and then we start again.
Yes.
Okay, that gave us the comfort at the management level that we can trust our partner again.
Yes.
Okay, we can go ahead with this long journey.
Yes.
All right, of digitalizing Rabie. Okay, and we can trust IFS as a system.
Yes.
Okay, once again. So that led us to the quick wins that was very well executed by Webquarters and Rabie teams. Okay, it made people happy again, relatively speaking.
Correct.
Okay, we want their trust back that we can embark on apps 10 rather than going to apps 9.
Yes.
Okay, we can directly go to apps 10 project. We call it Project Falcon, as you mentioned before. Okay, and without that quick wins project and this engagement with IFS, engagement with the user, I personally would not have gone for the apps 10 at all. Okay, that would have been a waste of money and time and effort. Okay, but with all this initiative we did together, with your personal directive, involvement, I think we were able to give it a go. Okay, we started the project 9 months ago, almost 9 months ago. It was not easy at times, this way, for both Webquarters and Rabie as well. But I think the personal commitment you have extended to Rabie and Mr. Mon's direct, sponsorship of the project, and everybody's dedication to the cause, I would say.
Mr. Kais, Mr. Shakir,
Mr. Ajit from before, Mr. Asela, Mr. Zuma. I can go on and on, and the list is long. I mean, these are the real heroes of our Rabie's vision and execution of it. Okay, and I can't thank them enough, individually and collectively.
Thank you, Mr.
And cut the long story short, 2 weeks ago, Salan, we went live with Project Falcon.
We did.
That was such an occasion for us. For me personally, for Mr. Munder, okay, I'm sure same goes for yourself. But for Rabie, okay, that was a major milestone in terms of where we want to take the company forward, and with whatever else is happening in the industry and the legal environment. This particular project is absolutely, critical to make sure that not only we maintain our competitive edge in the market, but actually we enhance it.
I agree. I think, if you don't mind me saying this, you've gone from an organisation that was lagging in terms of innovation, and to an organisation that will be setting the boundaries and on innovation within the region.
Yeah.
And I was so proud to go live. It wasn't without issues.
No, not at all.
And Project Falcon was one of the best things that you and I decided, because I put it to you as Falcon is the fastest creature on Earth.
Absolutely.
360 kilometers an hour. I think the bird can fly, and is agile. And we took all the principles of that brand, and we said, let's call it Project Falcon. During challenging times, and we had a few, and sometimes it was software related, it was Oracle related, but we don't need to go into those.
No,
I think having one team reminded us and stopped us from pointing fingers in different directions. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. The chemistry the two teams was just perfect.
Yes.
Without that, the level of issue that we had, we would not have gone further. We could not have gone too much further. I would say the project could have faltered easily in the first couple of months.
Yes.
Okay. But I said from the beginning, the message to the team was, there is one purpose, there is one team, and there is one objective. Okay, that is to make sure that we execute, we implement, we deliver Project Falcon, as best as we could. Okay, regardless of any issue that we might face on the way.
Yes.
I think the dedication shown by both teams and the both management teams, was key to that. the personal involvement from yourself and from Mr. Munder, okay, and full backing from the board, our board,
yes.
okay, was absolutely critical, and the makeup of the steering committee that we had was also very, very important. We had senior most people sitting in that committee who were well aware of the implications of the project going haywire. All right, and that I think that's probably one reason why we stood straight and narrow
yes.
on the journey. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
and I want to say, I mean, Apps 10 is delivering so much value and will deliver so much value to the business, and we've got far more to do with our journey of optimization. But I think what I'd like to do in closing is just touch on some of the challenging conditions that the food and beverage industry, especially those organisations that are affected by sugar tax December 1. And for those of our listeners watching, in December 1 in Saudi Arabia, there is a new tax being brought in, which we are preparing for, which adds 50% to the sale value of a can of juice, of a carton of juice. Yeah. And this is a monumental shift and challenge within business, and this has created not a nice to driver, but a must to, a need to driver to optimize. And maybe you could just touch on that in our closing words, Nisar.
Sure. From December 1st, the government of Saudi Arabia is introducing an excise tax.
Yes.
There's already excise tax, but on other products. Okay, from 1st December there'll be excise tax, 50% excise tax on all the sugar-based drinks in Saudi Arabia. That would mean that overnight our prices of the products will have to go up by 50%. Okay, that will have a significant impact on our volume that we produce and sell in the marketplace. So I'll try and join the dots here.
Yes, please.
The timing of the Falcon project could not have been perfect, because in this new legal environment, this new regulatory environment that we will face from December 1st, only the super agile, super efficient company will survive.
Yes. And
that's it. Okay,
full
because the expectation is that the volumes will drop industry-wide, I think between 35 and 40%. Okay, but that sort of volume drop and the impact on the cash flows and the revenue, etc. Average company will not survive.
Yes.
Okay, and so the efficiency part of being in the business, being agile, being cost efficient, quick decision making, okay, and eliminating the manual processes, automation, all these things will be vital for any company to survive and succeed. And I think with the timing of Falcon project finished 2 weeks ago, it puts us in I would say in a position where we are confident that not only we can pass through this monumental challenge thrown at us by the regulatory environment, but also that we should be in a better position than many of our competitors to actually come out of it stronger.
Yes.
When the storm is over.
Yes.
I would say I'm very, very pleased that we finished the project when we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Me too.
And I think it should really give us a competitive advantage next year.
Mr. Munther, I agree. Mr. Munther sits on a number of important boards.
Yes.
And is an industry expert in food and beverage in Saudi and GCC.
Absolutely.
And we are in talks right now. I hope you don't mind me touching on this. We're in talks right now with IFS, Rabie, and Webquarters, and some of the panels that Mr. Munther is sitting on, to explore how we can use the lessons learnt in our journey to shape and support those organisations who are going to be affected buy sugar tax, and those organisations who are going to have casualties in that with that outcome. I think it's a wonderful endeavour, and I'm very excited to invest in that process. We can't go into too much detail now because it's at the early stages, but I think there's many organisations out there who have to optimise, who need a subscription model, who need the best software,
Absolutely.
who need the best services, and perhaps don't have the capex right now to just go out and invest. But actually, there's no better time to do it. In closing, what's your thoughts on those endeavours, Nisar, and how can we add value to that to the food and beverage sector of Saudi?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you asked this question a year ago, my answer would have been different, honestly. But with what we have achieved by our association between Webquarters and Rabie over the last 1 year, from where we were system-wise, process-wise, a year ago, and where we are today, I can confidently say, it was a job well done, right? Being in the industry, I also know that there are a lot of companies who need similar transformations, across their processes.
Yes.
Even more so now with the new regulatory environment. So I see a huge opportunity to help a lot of companies that are in need of help, but can't get it.
Yes.
So I think by helping them, we'll help ourselves.
Yes.
We'll help the industry as well.
Yes, I agree.
To stay stronger. And looking inwards, I see that is probably an opportunity for both Webquarters and Rabie to join hands, maybe in a different venture,
Yes.
And go about helping companies within the Saudi Arabia and maybe broader GCC geography as well, to help them navigate through this difficult time. Update their system, their processes, from what we have learned in Project Falcon.
Yes.
I think we have a great success story of Project Falcon. If you can replicate that, if you can apply the same lessons learned
Yes.
in our adventures, our endeavors to help other companies, I think we can do a great service to the industry and ourselves as well. And I think that's something we should explore.
Yes.
We are very much interested, and with our leadership in the market, with Mr. Manzar's know-how of the industry,
Yes.
of the people, and across the GCC actually, it's very well known. I think we can make a difference. We can make a difference, and with expertise from Webquarters, and all the backing from IFS, I have no doubt that if we systematically approach this opportunity, everybody would win.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a brilliant note to end this on. We are focused on adding value to the region. They need our help and support. IFS has the software, we have the expertise, and you have the industry knowledge and know-how. I think it's a great tripartite agreement.
Yeah.
Nisar, you're more than a customer. You're a friend. We have often had conversations where we don't even talk business.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank you for making the trip, you and Mr. Munther, to Boston to talk about what Webquarters and Rabie are doing together and what IFS have done with us, and maybe have any closing comments.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to, if you allow me.
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity, honestly, to thank personally Mr. Manzar for his total backing to the project, to the vision that I have personally for my company, and his unwavering support, not only from himself, from our board as well, from Dr. Jira, our CEO, and the execution team by Mr. Case, Mr. Shaka. It's been brilliant, and I cannot thank all of them enough. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank IFS.
Yes.
Since our meeting with Stephen Keys last year and several other stakeholders, I think there has been a clear change in approach to Rabie specifically,
Yes.
and the region in general. So thank you to Darren Roos. I know you mentioned Darren before, although I never met him, but he's personally interested and involved in this project. So I would like to thank him while he's not listening.
I'm sure he will be.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. And but there's one person in particular that I would like to single out. Okay, I'm not saying because the person sitting in front of me, but I would like to really personally thank Alan you. Okay, wholeheartedly, sincerely, what you've done and the way you approached Rabie, myself personally, Mr. Manager, for the way you have cared about our company, our issues, our future. I really want to say thank you. Thank you so much for what you've done for us. Okay, and I can only see that we have a very long and prosperous, flourishing relationship that will benefit both Webquarters and Rabie, and indeed IFS as well. But no matter what happens, our friendship will continue. Business is business, okay. But yourself, I regard you very highly, personally and professionally both. So just want to say thank you for everything you've done for us. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Nisar, thank you for joining Webquarters TV and sharing our story.
My pleasure.
God bless you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.